I want to talk to you real quick about your Pacquiao fight, man. I thought it was an amazing fight, and I think it was closer than a lot of people are giving you credit for. Because let's look at it from this perspective. He knocked you down in the first round, but it was kind of obvious that you were winning the first round. You landed more punches, you were more active, and when you go to the scorecards, you won on one of the scorecards and you lost on two of the scorecards. It was 115 to 112. But if you take away his 10-8 lead for or a score for the knockdown in the first round and you give you the first round, you would have had one judge in your favor. The other two would have been a draw. You know what I'm saying? So it's really. And on top of that, you actually landed more punches than he did in that fight. So when you look back on it, do you think you could have done better, or how do you feel when you look back on it?
Oh yeah, it's the closest fight of my career. Last time I had a fight that close, it was in the amateurs, and it's a funny story. I lost the fight. And when you lose competition, some competitions allow you to go to the next competition, right?
Right.
So they said that boy beat me. It was such a close fight. I felt like I got him. It's like, dang, everybody wants to beat Thurman. So he said he got a W over me, especially on my state level. I was a 7-time national champion. It wasn't easy for people to take me out before I reached the nationals. So this dude, he took me out, and I'm sitting there, not doing much. They call me a week later saying, well, Keith, we actually want you to represent us. And I'm like, y'all didn't give me the W. I ain't been training. I ain't gonna represent nothing, And this fight just reminds me of the frustration I had way back then, man. When you're going toe to toe, blow for blow, and both people are putting in good amounts of effort. The knockdown changed everything. From the way I remember it, the two judges that favored him, one of them favored him by a 1-point margin, which means without the knockdown, I win. And then outside of that, a 1-point margin on one judge's scorecard, if I could just get that point back in my favor, it's a 1 point away from being a draw. No matter how you look at it, it was very, very close. And, when it's that close, there's always more you could have done. I believe I gave up, similar to the way we might have seen, like, when De La Hoya fought Tito Trinidad, even though a lot of people agree that Tito didn't win that fight. But if you pay attention to the details, they also say Oscar let up in the championship rounds. And in the championship rounds, I told myself that was the time to go. That was the time to get it done. The only problem was, like, I remember the last close fight was against Sean Porter, and in the 8th round, on all three judges' scorecards, they got there differently, but going into the 9th round, we were at a flat draw. Every judge, it was a unanimous draw, which is very rare in the sport of boxing. Right. So we're at a unanimous draw with 4 rounds to go. Luckily, with my fight IQ, nobody had to tell me it was unanimous draw. I sat down, got my water from my coach, and I told myself, you can't take more than 4 rounds in this 8-rounder right now, Right. So I said, Sean Porter can't beat you. You might draw, but he can't beat you. And then I said, we in Brooklyn right now, and ain't nobody show up to go watch a draw. Let's go get this W.
Right.
And there was a certain mindset that I forced upon myself in those final 4 rounds. There was a moment very similar to this in the Pacquiao fight for me. And the only problem is I didn't give myself the same speech. I said to myself, dang, man, I think it's a draw, man. I think it's a draw. I think you good. Just keep pushing. I don't know if they're going to take it from you, but I feel like the moment I accepted the draw was the moment I lost. Pushing for the W is the only way that you can guarantee the W. Don't slack off. You know what I mean? Don't slack off. Unless if you know you got a 8-2 lead going into them championship rounds, don't ever slack off, man. It is what it is, man. My original trainer said smart fighters win, dumb fighters lose. The reason why I was able to be humble at the end of the fight was just because Pacquiao fought a smart fight. You know, I might have landed more punches than him, but he landed the right punches at the right time to convince the judges that he's winning these rounds. He protected himself at all times. He kept his hands up very, you know, he tried to keep his hands up very well. I had to go around. I had to go in between. And I tried to bait him after the knockdown. I wanted to create a brawl with him. And his old age and his wisdom, all the experience that he had, he took all that into the ring. He didn't bring no pride. He listened to his coach. They knew they had a little bit of a lead, and they just said, keep boxing smart, keep boxing smart. He never got overly aggressive. He didn't take the bait from the young warrior trying to trade toe-to-toe, because I know he was fading. You know, I know even the pressure that I put on him, I know he was fading. You know, that body shot in the 10th helped him out a lot because of perspective on, you know, like I said, he lands the right shots at the right time on me. I can't take that away.
Did that body shot, it seemed like the body shot affected you more than the knockdown affected you.
Oh, definitely. You know, I mean, I smiled after the knockdown, you know. That was he sprung into action when I was retreating in a back line. I didn't take an angle. I wasn't circling. I stepped straight backward. He sprung forward, and it was a momentum thing. There wasn't much I could do about the knockdown, but the body shot, that was a pain thing. You know, that's a little dang. Man, he snuck that one in there. You know, it was right in the middle of the ring too. It was a very awkward place to throw that body shot. You know, when I got hit with the body shot against Luis Collazo, I was up against the ropes. He was pressuring me. You know, and yeah, so he just kind of snuck that one in, you know, and I just, you know, I don't take knees. I don't go down if I don't have to, because, you know, if the knockdown in the first round wasn't there, I have an option to take the knee. But with the knockdown there, 2 knockdowns, now we know you need the KO to win. So it's just a scenario, man. I try to do my best. I try to persevere, and I just pushed, man. I just pushed. I try to recover as quick as I can and get back on them. But I know it looked good in the highlights, and sometimes some of me and my peoples, we say it's the body shot that won the fight. Sometimes we say it's that 10th round that won the fight. That's the problem when you lose at such a, you know,
close
even
margin.
With the body shot. Even with the body shot, even with the knockdown in the first round, one judge had me winning by 2 rounds. Yeah, you know, so when I say I'm salty, I mean I'm salty, man.
You high blood pressure salty, huh?
I'm salty, man. But you know, it's as salty as I am, I still loved it, man. I love the whole experience. You know, it was epic. It was everything I ever wanted it to be when it came to growing up, fighting the best fighters in the world, fighting on the biggest stage.